Okay.
Hi Ishwar, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. What about you?
I'm good too. Thank you for asking. Okay. So can you tell us something about yourself? Like how many years of experience you have? What are the different skills that you are having? Which are the different types of tests you are doing? Right?
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
First of all, thanks a lot for giving me such a nice opportunity. Myself, Ishwar Ashok Savante, and I'm basically from Pune. Currently, I am working in one of the best software company as a manual tester. From last 2 years, as a software manual tester, and I'm perform their test case scenario, then prepare a test case, then test case execution, then prepare a traceability matrix, then raise the defect. So that's all about me.
Okay. So how many test cases you are creating every day?
Actually, it's depend upon the functionality. It is a not means a fixed ratio for that.
Mm.
But still, I can say as per my model, almost 30 to 40 test cases I run.
Mhm. Right. So if you are getting such kind of question in an interview, so the answer that you gave, it depends on the functionality, the complexity of the application. It was very good, right? So then you can tell the range of the test cases, and so that there are not any counter questions coming from the interviewer, right? So this is good. Okay. So in your resume, you have mentioned you are performing globalization testing. So what is globalization testing?
Globalization testing means we are just testing our software is means supporting different language or not. So we are currently refer English language as a global language. So we are just check our software is means supporting English language or not.
Mm,
Then and also in globalization testing there are some means localization testing is also there. In
mm,
localization testing, we are just testing our software is supporting different regional language or not, such as suppose there is a Marathi, Hindi, like that.
mm,
So we are testing our software is able to support different language or not.
mm. Okay. Now, consider there is a website, Angel One. Let me share my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So this is an Angel One website. In this, basically, people are creating their Demat accounts, and it's a kind of domain is investment banking domain, right?
Yes.
They will purchase stocks, they will sell stocks, they will do this kind of intraday activities and all those things, right? I saw your CV. You are working on investment banking domain project, right? Now, can you tell me the test scenarios? How will you test this particular website? What all the various test scenarios that you will perform testing? Which are the different types of testing that you would do?
Okay. So first of in this there is a name field mobile number. So in a name field we will check a positive scenario as well as negative scenario. In a name field we will cover means there is a behavior means when we take a cursor to the name field. So is it a focusable or non-focused quality property, and then we will check the input domain coverage means it is accepting only character or it is also accepting some special character like hash star etc, or it should not acceptable means digit 1 to 9 because it is a name characters. And same we will show some error handling also. Suppose without uh, without providing name and mobile number, directly while we click on open an account, so that time it is throwing some error message or not. And suppose by providing some valid credential means valid name, mobile number, then current city, etc.
Hmm.
Once we click and open an account, so it should be navigated to the directly dashboard page. Right. So this is we will cover in service level coverage or flow of the application. So in this way we will check this application means we will perform recovery sorry behavior coverage, then input domain coverage, error handling coverage. That's it.
Okay. So currently, the test scenarios that you covered were of these three fields: name, mobile number, current city. Okay.
Right.
Now, let us say we have created an account and we are logged in into this particular website, this particular application. Then how will you test this
Okay.
application?
Will you please repeat that question?
Yeah. Now, currently, the test scenarios that you gave in the answer were related to name field, mobile number, current city field, right?
Right.
Now, I'm looking for test scenarios. Let's say you have created an account into this application,
Right.
into this website successfully. Now you are logged in into this particular application, right? So can you tell
Okay.
me the various test scenarios, the critical test scenarios which you will be performing as a part of testing?
Typical question.
Hmm.
Mm, Means once then there are six, means suppose the dashboard is there, holding win position. Means I'm talking about if there is an investment banking application, right? So we will go through all the models and we will cover all the scenario. Means suppose like that behavior coverage, then input domain coverage for each and every model.
Hmm.
So I'm not understanding the exact critical scenario for that.
Okay, okay, no worries.
Mm.
See, now, as you can see, the domain is of investment banking, right? You can purchase stocks, you can sell stocks, you can see zero brokerage on equity delivery trades. These are all the things related. So that means it is related to purchasing and selling of stocks, right? So critical scenarios would be whether you are able to purchase the stocks on one go itself or not.
Yeah.
Let's say if you are
Right.
performing any equity delivery kind of trading, then zero brokerage charge should be there, right? For example, let's say you purchased 500 stocks of some XYZ company, right? And you should not get any brokerage charge, right? Then let's say you are performing trading on intraday, then it would be costing you 20 rupees only, right?
Yeah.
Then let's say if you are trying to sell stocks, then accordingly it should it should work properly. Then let's say after purchasing the stocks, when the amount is deducted, are you getting the email, are you getting proper SMS messages, well, proper confirmation
Right.
messages on your mobile phone? Same thing, let's say if you have this in the form of mobile application, right? So from mobile application, are you able to do those kind of transactions, right? Then let's say if you are an individual person, then there is another scenario that you are actually a broker. Then how the flow of the application is, right? So this is how you would be testing this application. Clear, Ishwar?
Yes, sir. Your video is stuck. Voice and video is stuck.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so this is how you can test this particular application. Then one of the scenario would be you are trying to log in with an invalid credentials, right? Then what is
Credentials. Right.
happening? Then one of the scenario would be, let's say you are trying to purchase some stock, but the amount in your bank, in your account is not that much with respect to the purchase that you want to do.
Right. Right.
So you'll have to add
Right.
from the bank account, or you will be getting some sort of message over there, right? That so and so amount is needs to be added before you do some transaction, like that. Okay, so this is how you would be testing. So in an interview, you might get questions on various domains, on applications of various domains, right? Investment banking is there. It's mentioned in your CV, you have been working on investment banking. Then second thing is you might get question on e-commerce domain. Then there are various roles and permissions as well in the investment banking domain. Again, let's say if some, for example, broker is there, or if some a higher authority is there, admin is there, normal user is there. So how will you test this application, right? So you have to analyze all those scenarios and you have to answer to the maximum limit in an interview, just to make sure that you are not only having the domain of like the knowledge of the domain, but you are also knowing how to test such kind of applications, right? So
We
this is
can
very
also add, sir, one scenario means there is a quantity field, and
hmm,
that quantity field is accepting only integer type of data, not decimal type of data.
hmm,
It's throwing some error message or not,
hmm,
like that. We can also check.
correct. Okay, that is there. Okay. Now, in your CV, you have mentioned participated in review test cases to validate customer requirement. So can you please elaborate? Can you please explain what is the significance or what is your role in this reviewing test cases?
Okay, so first of all, whenever we complete our test cases, so that time we take a peer review from, means I'm also taking a peer review, means one of my colleagues completed his test cases. Then we just go through it, means for there is each and every requirement, means for each requirement we have at least one cases. We just issue that, and also same process. Whatever we write our test cases for particular functionality, so it should be verified by my another colleague. Means that is we taking peer review, and sometimes we are taking also internal review also, means whatever we write the test cases we just review from our team leader person. So that's all about review.
Right, right. So apart from this, let's say, do you consider the testing techniques also being used by them?
Yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, sure. Means
Yeah.
we will consider the boundary value analysis, then error casing, then equivalent class partition. Means we write the test cases by keep in mind this, keeping boundary value analysis things or not.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So how many test cases do you automate every day?
Automate?
Yeah. Are you doing automation in your project?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, because in your CV it's mentioned that you are working in XYZ company as a software test engineer, and in bracket you have mentioned manual and automation from April 2022 till date. So see, if you are not doing automation, right, so you can update your CV accordingly, because for now, as I have asked you about, tell me something about yourself, so you have mentioned about you are working as a manual tester over there, but in your CV it's been mentioned you have knowledge of core Java, you are working in automation, right?
Right.
So what you can do is either you can update your CV with the manual
Right.
testing skills, or else you can contribute into your project as an automation team member, and then you can explain the process. Or else, let's say if you are partially working in manually, partially you are working in automation, so you can also answer like it depends on client requirements and priorities. If we are getting more user stories for testing with manual testing, then I am contributing as a manual tester. After completion of the sprint, in the new sprint, if there are less user stories for manual testing, so I am contributing as an automation tester. So this is how you can mold the answer in the way you need, right? But definitely, if you are mentioning these kind of things in the CV, so you will get questions on automation, core Java, and all those things. Okay, so this is fine. So let's move ahead then. Okay, you have mentioned you are using Jira as your project management tool.
Yes.
Okay. So can you tell me what all things you like apart from test cases, what all things you do in Jira?
Actually, we are writing test cases in Excel sheet, but just raise the bug in a Jira.
Hmm. Okay. You are
So
raising
when
defects in Jira.
right.
Okay.
So whenever I raise the bug in Jira, so that time we provide some means defect ID, then defect description, then in which model we get, then raise by, then assign to, then some priority and severity we mentioned.
Mhm. Okay. So priority is that. So which are the different fields in Jira for which a tester needs to take care at the time of logging defects?
Will you please repeat, sir?
Yeah. Which are the different fields in Jira which a tester or a testing team needs to take care at the time of logging defects? Let's say you are raising some defects. So what would be the flow of defect logging in Jira? Which all fields you will fill the information?
As I already mentioned, means we will first issue defect ID,
Hmm.
then defect description. Then if means we have some screenshot, then we can attach also screenshot. Then we will mention the user story ID, and then model name, etc. Thing we will mention. first we will before logging the defect, we will first ensure that from our side means is it a real defect or it is something means one of my colleagues already raised that particular defect. It might be chances of duplicate bug will be raised. So first we
Correct.
will ensure that, and then only I will log.
Okay. What is test summary report?
Test summary mainly prepared by testers. Means whenever as a tester, whenever I complete my all test execution, then
Hmm.
and then only I will prepare test summary report. Test summary report in which that we will mention means what are the test cases passed, then what are the how many test cases failed, then no run cases, then how many defects we found and how many defects we raised like that.
Mhm. Okay. Consider a situation where, let's say, you went to the office and you, along with your other team members, you started the office at a correct time. Let's say 10 to 7 is your time, for example.
Right.
And 10:30 you started your work, and then there was a power cut. Or let's say the application which was supposed to be tested went down. So what will you mention in the test summary report? Will you mention the same reason that that there was a power cut or the application was not accessible, so you were not able to test? What will you do?
No, sir. Being a tester, I will not mention this as a means,
Hmm.
to mention this kind of things. We will wait for some times, and if it is not possible, so I will do some extra work for that.
Hmm.
Then I will first I will execute all the test cases, but I will not mention this kind of reason. Means there is a power cut.
Okay. So let's say if there is a power cut, so how will you execute the test cases?
If power cut means there is no option. I will be waiting for that,
Okay.
and once
Let's say till the end of the day there was a power cut and you were not able to execute any of the test cases, then what would you do?
uh, first of all I will means communicate with my team leader.
Mm-hmm.
Then means team leader will suggest me some possible scenario.
Mm-hmm.
As per guidance of team leader, we will proceed.
Correct. Now you might get such kind of situational questions in an interview, right? So what you can do is, this was a very good answer, that you will communicate to leads and managers or scrum master what needs to be done ahead. Apart from that, what you can do is you can write some test cases of the future user story in the Excel file, because power is not there. So,
Yeah.
but laptops, it would be some charging would be there, like 80%,
Means
85%.
I can utilize
Yeah.
this time.
Yeah. So you have to make sure that you give some these kind of answers in an interview, just to make sure that you're not running behind the excuses of not doing the work.
Right.
Right. Or else, if even if the laptop is not getting charged, so what you can do, you people can connect in the conference room with the development team,
Right.
and you can ask them what is the future user stories and what is the scope of the stories. You can also have a discussion like what is the scope, or with the PO, with the business analyst, right? What are the different client requirements that you might get in the upcoming releases, and you will discuss with the subject. I mean, you will discuss with the team members about the subject. So this is how you can explain in an interview, right? So this is very important. And at the end of the day, you can also mention there was a power cut or the website was down. So we escalated the issue to the IT team or to the XYZ person, and we are waiting for their response or their update. Okay. Like that, you can answer. Okay, fine. So this is fine. Now, in your resume, it's mentioned collaboration with proficiency and grasping new technical concepts quickly. So, and utilize the same in a productive manner. So, can you tell me the new technical concept that you have learned recently and how you have implemented that particular concept in your day-to-day testing?
So when I initially joined, so that time in my company, we are not prepared for requirement traceability matters.
Mm-hmm.
So once we get means there are some test cases we miss. So that time we involve this technique means requirement traceability matrix. So after each and every user story, we just prepare the traceability matrix. So that means we ensure that whatever the all the requirement, we at least for each requirement there is a one test case.
Hmm.
So this we understand.
Correct.
Yes.
Now, what do you mean by forward traceability matrix?
Forward traceability means we just ensure that for each and every requirement there is a test cases, right? So
Hmm.
this according to requirement we are testing, we are checking that there is a requirement for that. This is a forward traceability, and whereas there is a vice versa for backward traceability. Means we are just checking first required for test cases, and then for each and every test cases there is a any requirement. We just ensure that. So
Hmm.
this is forward and backward traceability.
Right. So forward traceability is the ability to trace a requirement to components of a design or implementation, while backward traceability is the ability to trace a requirement to its source. Let's say from where did it come. Right. So this is good. Forward and backward traceability matrix. What are the advantages of RTM? Why it is important?
Okay. Means we have some insurance. We just ensure that means for each and every requirement there is a test case. We in this way we can trace our. We ensure that means 100% test cases we cover or write down for that. This is the main advantage. Because if we do not prepare traceability matrix, then we will miss some test cases. So for that, we prepare a traceability matrix. We be 100% sure for that means there is a for each and every requirement there is a test cases.
Mhm. Okay. Then what do you mean by bi-directional traceability matrix? Hello, Ishwar? Am I
Yes, sir.
audible? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. What do you mean by
Uh,
bi-directional traceability matrix?
no, sir. I'm not aware about. Means right now, unable to recall it. Like that.
Okay, no issues. See, in an interview, you might get some questions in a real-time interview for which you are not knowing the answers. So over there, rather than telling that I am not knowing, you can tell, sir, at this current juncture, I am not aware about the answer of this question, but can you please help me so that I can update my knowledge accordingly? So that's how you can leave a positive impression on the interviewer, right? So for this, bi-directional traceability matrix is nothing but it is a combination of forward plus backward traceability matrix. And this matrix ensures that all the requirements are covered by the test cases. Okay. So whichever the impact is there, let's say if any changes are coming in the requirements, so that particular impact of that change in the requirement with respect to the existing system, that would be taken care into this particular matrix. So that is bi-directional traceability matrix. Now, which are the various parameters that you will include in the requirement traceability matrix?
Parameter.
Mhm. Which are the various fields? Which are the various parameters?
Uh, Field means requirement. Then requirement ID.
Correct,
Uh,
correct.
then test cases,
Mhm.
and then and we will add some remark for that.
Mhm. Right. Requirement ID, requirement type and description, then test cases and status. Right. Test case ID. So these are all the things that you will have in the requirement traceability matrix. Okay. Okay, Ishwar, I'm done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
Uh, I
Yeah.
just want to take a means, I just want to take a feedback means how can I improve my knowledge and
Right.
where
So,
I'm lagging like that.
yeah. So, if I come to the feedback, so, your knowledge is good. Manual testing knowledge is good, but just update your CV with respect to automation as well.
Okay.
Then be confident in an interview. And whenever you are being asked about how will you perform this kind of testing or how will you do testing of this particular application, try to think of all the scenarios that are coming to your mind, right? and try to give the answer and up to the maximum time limit in an interview. Let's say if your interview is of 30 minutes, right? And if you get such sort of question like it's an application and you have to perform testing. So how will you perform? So try to give answer up to the maximum limit, 10 minutes, 12 minutes, until unless the interviewer does not tell, okay, fine, we are good. Because in this kind of answer only, you would be able to win the confidence of the interviewer. Okay, so that is very important.
Yes.
Yeah, rest all looks good, and definitely if you're looking for a job, so you will get job very soon. And
Yes.
once you get the job, please share the interview questions with us, and please share success story also with us on this channel. Many people out there would get
Yes.
confidence and would get motivation from your video. Okay, yeah, thank you so much, Ishwar. It was nice talking to you, and all the best for your career.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you.